Hello and welcome back to another uploader video. Today we're going to be wrapping up Winter Storm Kenan and moving on to our next potential major winter storm. So in terms of wrapping up Kenan, the areas outside of this great area of greatest uncertainty I hit right on, so very happy about that. But inside this area of greatest uncertainty, we did see areas that I did have in that 12 to 24 inch range not see 12 to 24 inches because the storm did move further east, as well as was a little bit under what we were predicting in terms of strength, as well as lack of banding in some of these areas. So areas such as Vermont, parts of upstate New York, western Connecticut, western Massachusetts, maybe even you can include Pennsylvania in there as well. Just didn't see as much snow as I was predicting here. Maybe like between 2 to 4 inches less in most spots. So that's just why it moved slightly east, and that's why this was the area of greatest uncertainty. But moving on to our next storm, we are setting our sights to the Midwest, which is going to be getting a Winter Storm Uri-like storm. If you don't remember Winter Storm Uri, I'll link it in the cards above. But basically, it was the storm that knocked out the power grid in Texas. So we are going to be taking a look at this system today. So we start up with our setup. We have a low pressure up here with a clipper across southern Canada. We have a low pressure here in New Mexico and some moisture down in Texas. So that moisture in Texas and that low pressure kind of combine. That low pressure starts to pull up some more Gulf moisture, and we have our setup here with some cold air getting brought down by that low pressure part of that clipper system, as well as this very strong high pressure in Alberta, and that will drop further south and bring in more cold air. So we are seeing very light snow, light precipitation all around. But as this storm continues, we could see some more moderate to heavy snowfall in this setup stage, but the significant part of the storm does start later as this low pressure is now weakening off, and we see a new low pressure starting to take shape down here in Texas. But that beginning part of the storm does stretch from Texas all the way up into Quebec City with some light to moderate snowfall, but the heavy snow starts to come in here with this second part of the system, and we see Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, maybe even Oklahoma City, getting some snowfall. Then you have areas of Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas getting freezing rain. That's going to be the main deal with this storm, is that you're going to have some areas that are going to get intense snow, but mostly this is going to be a main freezing rain event, as it will be heavy and significant enough to make more impacts than the snow. Again, a tenth of an inch of ice is more impactful than 6 inches of snow, especially in the south, and especially in Texas. So, new low pressure forms. You still have that intense freezing rain in Memphis now, and some moderate to heavy snowfall along the Ohio River. Now, there's two different tracks for this low pressure to take, one to the northeast or one to the east-northeast. The European model is showing the east-northeast route, bringing more snowfall to areas such as Cincinnati, as well as areas like parts of central Pennsylvania, Albany, New York, and then eventually into the northeast, where both New York and Boston could see snowfall, and areas such as Philadelphia could see freezing rain. Now, the second track for this low pressure to take is that track of that northeast track. And basically, the GFS here has the same setup, and that second low pressure starts to form here, but that northeast track does bring in some more intensity into areas such as Chicago, northern Indiana, northwest Ohio, parts of Michigan, and into areas such as Toronto, Canada, and the very northern parts of the northeast, as well as bringing in the possibility of some flooding in parts of the I-95 corridor, as that snow that they just got from Kenan will be melting. So, moving on here, we have the Canadian model. So the Canadian model is showing something right in the middle of the two, and we do see that setup here, as well as showing that deep dive into Texas and moving into the northeast with sleet in Boston, maybe some freezing rain in New York, but that is right on the edge there. So a little bit further north, but no main impacts in areas such as Chicago, parts of Indiana, parts of Michigan. So that is the middle of the two. So those are our 3 setups here. I will be tracking the storm until it happens, which we are looking at a current time frame of February 1st to February 3rd. So stay tuned here. I will be providing updates every single day until this storm happens, the same as I did with Kenan. So if you need updates as this storm continues, especially those of you, especially in Texas, the south central region of the U.S. that could be getting severe impacts that you don't typically see, especially heavy freezing rain, stay tuned here. I'll be providing updates, and subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss those updates. But that is all I have for today. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time.